All right, so the No Kings rally was a few days ago at this point, and Republican supporters are still struggling to grasp the necessity of this sort of demonstration, mainly because they live in their own world of personal delusion and political delusion. But I digress. Today we're gonna hear from their side as to what the deal is, and we're gonna hear from some liberal voices as well. Let's get into it.
They're calling him a king. It's completely ridiculous.
And I guarantee you that kings don't let you romp up and down the street in costume mocking him.
If President Trump was a king, he would have closed the national parks and the National Mall, so they couldn't have had the rally out here.
Yeah, that's not as reassuring as you think it is. Oh, believe me, if this guy was king, there'd be no dissent. I mean, he wanted to shut the park. He Googled it. He showed us a picture of the park with a big X. He said, what if we had them come and then just red wedding the shit out of them?
It's the same sort of vibe behind Israel saying that if they wanted to genocide the Palestinians, then they would have day one. It's like not reassuring at all that was in your crossfire. You know, they say Trump doesn't feel like a king. Of course he does. Of course he doesn't. He has dementia. He's shitting his pants. That's not what a king does. Maybe Henry VIII towards the end, but no good king that I knew.
And the truth is, it's a bit of hyperbole from the opposition. I think that this president is some sort of thin-skinned man-baby king sitting in his gilded throne room, demanding vengeance on his enemies while plotting Baroque and lavish monuments to his own ego, whilst sycophants plead for his benevolence through exotic tokens of fealty.
So Republicans in the comments, if you feel like watching someone like me, explain to me how any of that benefits you directly. And moreover, explain to me how those aren't the actions of someone who wants to be king, who holds themselves to that sort of standard of being a king, a benevolent leader. The whole us versus them mentality really drives it home. But given that it's you versus us, how is it benefiting the you? Like any tangible metric at all? Feel free to let me know.
This to me is a colossal waste of time. And for these people, you wasted your Saturday. It's like a Comic-Con. They have costumes and hashtags.
They're silly protesting, and they don't know how dumb they look.
Absurdist costumes. They look silly.
Just one sec. I'm looking for the types of shit that they wore on January 6th. You know, the whole Viking getup, that sort of cringe shit. If we're being honest, if I saw this person and an inflatable frog walking down the street, I'd feel safer with the frog. Man or the bear, I choose the inflatable frog. So what's the deal with all this then? Did this not look silly? Did this not look stupid? Because it did for us, you know, the outside world where we live in reality. Like, this is just fucking pathetic. Looking silly, wearing your stupid red hats, wearing tampons on your ears after Trump got shot, wearing your freedom t-shirts after Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Really. And the inflatables served a purpose. I saw this article here. It served a purpose. You know, people like Mike Johnson and Trump are saying that every leftist is violent, every Democrat supporter is violent, when this is the reality. And the video with that dumbass on the rooftops with her ICE officers looking down at violent Portland, this is what she saw. So you calling these people wearing the inflatables violent is stupid in and of itself. They served a purpose. You're just too dumb to see it.
They certainly don't look serious.
Although there was one nit you picked that really felt off-brand.
The crowd, made largely of what many are saying are gray hairs, boomers.
A bunch of boomers.
A lot of
Angry boomers.
angry white boomers.
It's a sea of white people. It's all old white people.
This country has too many angry old white people.
They pretty much just described the Republican voter base. Boomers with too much time on their hands. Where's that energy for that dumbass Charlie Kirk memorial? Everyone in that crowd was a cracker. Old cracker, pensioner cracker, fragile cracker, snowflake cracker. I can keep going. A flower ranger, if you will. That's probably my favorite insult that I've heard. They're trying to make it a gotcha for all these elderly Democrats, as if they haven't seen it before through other administrations, speed running into fascism and authoritarianism. But hey, we know by now Republicans live in delusion, so there's no point trying to reason with them. Only laugh at them.
You know, it's so funny to think about everything that Trey was bringing us from the Middle East and the very serious big issue that the Trump administration is dealing with, and then you flip over to how did the Democrat leaders, all of the most powerful Democrats in the United States, spend their day yesterday?
All of the important issues that Donald Trump is tending to. Peace in the Middle East that Israel just violated. The ceasefire. Right. Okay. The government shutdown because of the passing vote for the Epstein files. Right. Okay. The pressing issues like the ballroom that he is building amongst a government shutdown, using the money that he earned off of the backs of the working class Republicans, off the back of his meme coin, right? All the pressing issues of the president. Sure, got it. Yeah. I love the contrast where progressives are trying to hold Republican lawmakers to account, whereas Republicans are trying to hold this random old boomer at a protest accountable for what they say and what their actions are. It is so detached from reality. Like, really? What we saw is a bunch of Democratic leaders amongst the people. Where are the Republican leaders during the shutdown? Where are they? There have been numerous reports, numerous videos that they're not working on a resolution. They're not anywhere near government. No. Yeah, but what are you going to do?
They were at summer camp singing campfire song and being really ridiculous. One thing, though, I think is really kind of interesting, and by the way, I think it's wonderful that these people are getting out and moving around and marching. It's probably very healthy. A lot of these people look like they don't get out very much. I think that that's a very positive step. It's kind of part of the Maha movement. Yeah. Get them moving, move around. It's better than, maybe even better than pickleball. But
whenever they bring up the health of Democrats and, you know, the physical health of Democrats, do they just ignore the reality that we live in? That this bulging fucking whatever, probably Trump Jr. ready to pop out of his stomach doesn't exist? Elon Musk as well? I mean, Jesus, look at that. He's built like something that was just pushed out of Trump. Ted Cruz, look at that belly overhang. Are we just ignoring reality that Republicans have like no issue body shaming progressives, but at the same time don't hold that same standard to their fat ass leaders?
do you think it's kind of interesting for a group of people that spend all their time yelling at us about, diversity, inclusion, and equity? They have a real diversity problem at these rallies. It's like a sea, you know, you'll be in Chicago and it's a sea of white people. It's all old white people, to the point that even like leftists, like MSNBC was calling them Q-tips for the...
I just thought it'd be interesting to pull up a photo of the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Here, you can see the Google search, Charlie Kirk Memorial. Yeah, not a great amount of diversity in these images. Just seems like a sea of white people. It's either because only white people cared about the death of Charlie Kirk, or it's because white people make up a bulk majority of the population in our Western world. It's like, what's the deal, Fox? So you're complaining that the population of black people is too big with relation to crime, but now it's too little in relation to something you don't agree with? I would say I'm shocked, but Fox News and Republicans being inconsistent with their, I guess, epidemiology would not be a first.
Because of all their white hair. Fox News contributor Hugh Hewitt joins us now. Great to see you this morning, Hugh.
Oh, wow, another white person. Wow, just another elderly white person. I hope he wasn't listening the whole time. He would be very, very offended if he had any semblance of being a human being.
Thank you for joining us. You know, first of all, I'm sort of confused because I think that President Trump is being a very bad king, because there were all these people all over the place marching and saying nasty things about him. But I was thinking that maybe you probably feel a lot safer knowing that all of these Democrats took to the streets to prevent us from having a king.
Good morning, Charlie. I thought it was a very amusing day yesterday. There were about 100,000 is the estimate inside Beltway where I am. And it did look like a giant water aerobics class in many of these places where people were going on their way to the early bird special. They broke it off at 4 so they could get to the early.
Bro is roasting himself. He's already in the stages of dementia of slurring his words. He's roasting himself. He must be paid a lot to do this.
It was my generation. It was the boomers. And
yes, it was.
And Woodstock was a long time ago. This was a little bit like Woodstock with a smattering of their grandkids thrown in. So look, Donald Trump won 77 million votes. He won 2,600 out of 3,100 counties. He won all 7 swing states. He won big. And so I don't know what they were demonstrating about, especially when it was on the Saturday following the Monday when the hostages came home, the last living hostages from Israel.
Sure, the hostages. Right, from the ceasefire that was just broken by Israel. Right, okay. And yeah, a lot has happened since the election. The election was months ago at this point. He's been in power for quite a while. People can regret their vote. As much as I think if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican supporter, you are a moron, I still think you're a human. I still think you have the capacity to say, maybe this administration isn't looking after my best interests. And even if the overlap between, you know, Trump voters and participants in the No Kings rally, even if there were like no overlap as well, it doesn't take take a genius to understand that this administration has had no issues going after Democrats, going after blue cities, going after cities with a proportionally higher black population. It doesn't take a genius to understand that this administration is speedrunning into authoritarianism, which is what the demonstrations were about. So as much as he was democratically elected, and he brought up the swing states, there were a lot of people within the swing states who were demonstrating. And even in red states, they had to call the armed guard into Texas because they were scared of the turnout. But definitely no kings here. Definitely don't feel threatened by the amount of people who took to the streets to say, we fucking hate Republicans.
If you needed any indication that Trump world has officially lost the plot when it comes to the upcoming No King's Day protest, Pam Bondi has got you covered.
Well, sure, and that's one of the things about Antifa. You've heard President Trump say multiple times, they are organized, they are a criminal organization, and they're very organized. You're seeing people out there with thousands of signs that all match, pre-bought, pre-put together. They're organized and someone is funding it. We're going to get to the
So we just heard from another Fox News. I don't know if you see that in the bottom left corner. Another Fox News platform that they were all white crackers, boomers. They were all just getting out and about, doing a little bit of physical activity. The next minute, this fucking idiot is saying that they're Antifa, that they're paid for, that they're organized, right? That they're dangerous for exercising their First Amendment right. There's just no consistency with this administration because they're too fucking stupid to decide one thing to go after.
Funding of Antifa, we're going to get to the root of Antifa, and we are going to find and charge all of those people who are causing this chaos in Portland and all these other cities across our country.
See, you have to be a moron to believe any of the words she's saying. You have to be a moron. You have to be detached from reality. The whole point of Antifa is that it's not organized, right? It doesn't exist. It's not a fucking group that recruit people like Proud Boys on the Republican side, like the KKK on the Republican side, like any other alt-right militia that had no problem voting for Trump in the last election, the actual dangerous coordinated groups of people threatening democracy. They're trying to hold Antifa to account. They're trying to make it that much more mainstream so that they can be like, yeah, Antifa, you're going to jail. You disagree with me, you're going to jail. Sorry, you disagree with me. We have to put you away now. You're Antifa with no burden of proof to prove that they belong to Antifa because it doesn't fucking exist. They can denote any sort of progressive ideology to Antifa, go after you, put you in jail, and then turn around and say, yeah, we don't have a king. We don't have a king. Democratically elected, don't have a king. Just ignore all the troops we're sending to blue states. No kings here. You have to be genuinely fucking stupid to live this detached from reality, to believe any word that this trashy ass administration is saying.
Talk to all the influencers who have been threatened and beat up and their lives threatened from Antifa members. It's going to stop under Donald Trump.
Here's the best part of Pam Bondi's claim. That's the thing about Antifa, they are organized. Antifa is quite literally not organized because it's not actually a group. It's no real organization. There's no leadership, no meetings, no dues, no structure. It's not even not organized. It's not even close to anything resembling an organization. So no, Antifa is not organized. It's just an ideology. It stands for anti-fascist.
Trying to get anyone on the progressive side to genuinely organize is a fucking nightmare. You'll have a bunch of socialists calling it pointless, that it does nothing for the big picture. That's the most delusional part about them trying to argue that Antifa is an organized, violent group of people. It's fucking not.
And not for nothing, but when you're against the anti-fascists, I think it's pretty clear what that makes you. But even more absurd,
if you're anti-fascism, you're with fascism. You may think it's a buzzword, but when that reality comes to bite you back on the ass, you tend to realize pretty quickly. Like the farmers in red states, they're quickly realizing that another subsidy will have to be provided to them because of Trump's economy, like his first stint in office. What was it? 28 billion had to be sent to farmers who were affected by his trade policy. The same thing's going to happen. They send $40 billion to Argentina, to his wealthy friends. To be anti-fascism, that means you're one, either a moron, or two, with fascism, because you think it benefits you. Moron.
This suggestion by Bondi that Antifa must be organized because there are, quote, thousands of signs that all match, pre-bought, pre-put together. First of all, the creation of signs does not make you Antifa. This may come as a surprise to the Attorney General of the United States, but signs have been around for a very, very long time.
LA this weekend, which is going to be the farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party, which is, a big title.
I bet you see pro-Hamas supporters. I bet you see Antifa types. I bet you see the Marxists in full display, the people who don't want to stand and defend the foundational truths of this republic.
This weekend, we'll see mobs of radicals at the I Hate America rally, and you'll see them across the country.
Not for nothing, but when you are so desperate to disparage a peaceful rally whose goal is literally to condemn the idea of a king in America, it might be time to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Pretty much. Either you don't understand what the point of the rallies are, or you do understand the point and you agree with the side that's saying, yeah, no, these peaceful protesters are actually violent, or actually a part of a violent group that's coming to hate America. Fascism thrives off of morons, is what I'm quickly discovering with this administration. And they can try play it off as some small rally that just happened to happen, a bunch of boomers, a bunch of people who escaped the elderly home. They can try play it off as that, but now they have to sit with the reality that the protests were all peaceful. No major issues were reported by police after the protests. They all dispersed after a certain amount of time. They have to live with the reality of all those photos online now, just showing how many people hate this administration. And if you think this doesn't affect Trump or Republicans, then you are a fucking moron. In the short term, maybe it won't affect them. Maybe it'll just affect their egos. But the more that progressives are able to mobilize under the pretense of this administration speed running into fascism, but conservatives won't see it that way. Because as long as they try to condemn the No Kings protest by saying they don't have a king, they reaffirm that they do have a king who can do no wrong, and anyone who talks against that king, who protests against him, who organizes against him, is the enemy from within, who hate us. It is so, I'm saying it again, detached from reality, because that's what it means to be a conservative. That's what it means to vote Republican.
On his social media account, I think he thinks this is how he's going to intimidate the peaceful protesters. He posted this AI video of a King Trump fighter jet dumping feces on peaceful protesters, and Harry Sisson.
Shout out to Harry Sisson, by the way. He's really riding this on Twitter. He's riding the momentum against the MAGA cult. He is making them so mad. Shout out to Harry.
Sisson was someone who was in the peaceful protest there in New York, and AI videos that J.D. Vance posted with Donald Trump putting a crown on his head and holding up a sword. I mean, this behavior is just absolutely abhorrent. It is beneath contempt. It's not.
Yeah, he really owned the libs with that. Yeah, let me quickly set the record straight by posting a edited photo of myself and JD Vance in a crown to prove them wrong. But it's fine because we have a president who trolls the left, and that's all that matters, right?
Funny, it's not humorous. It really is just humiliating for our country that
it is truly embarrassing to be like, to look on Twitter, see the AI images, and to then continue scrolling to conservative talking heads being like, yeah, he's trolling the left. Like, what? That is pathetic. Firstly, you're probably a grown man tweeting that. Secondly, it's embarrassing. Your country was embarrassing as it is. Embarrassing enough as it is.
Someone in that office is behaving that way. You're not owning the libs. You just look like an idiot. You look like a petulant little 3-year-old. No offense to petulant 3-year-olds. This is what they were doing all night. Donald Trump and his team posting more photos of himself.
The great irony is, of course, that Donald Trump is the son of an immigrant, the grandson of an immigrant, and married to an immigrant. In fact, 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants, proving yet again that immigrants will do the jobs that even Americans are not willing to do.
Jesus. God, he didn't have to go so hard. One of the comments says, JD Vance is married to an immigrant too. Which, I mean, fuck me. By the way, not being able to disavow that group chat leak of Nazi rhetoric when your wife is a person of color, when your children are people of color, when the president is married to an immigrant, that type of disconnection from reality can only exist in conservative circles. Like, that is spineless. That is shameless. It is everything that the Trump administration stands. So we've heard from a couple of conservative voices on the issue of the No Kings rally. I don't think they really understand what's going on. There are a lot of talking points bouncing around. Firstly, we're organized violent threats to democracy. We're Antifa. Then we're a bunch of old crackers getting out and about, physical political activity. Then no one came to the protest. It was tiny, only a few thousand people. Then we see the photos of all those people. Oh, they're just disillusioned because they lost the election. Like, they can't make their mind up. So how can we expect them to understand what a No Kings protest actually means when they're too stupid to understand that their king has been chosen? Their king is existing right now, and they're too stupid to realize that them, more than anyone else, will be affected by his actions.